An all-above approach is vital in an energy crisis. This should not just reflect fossil fuels, renewables, and nuclear power, but should include an approach that considers regional, statewide, national, and tribal. Montana is home to 8 tribal governments representing 13 tribes. So today with us, we have CEO of Indian Energy, Alan Cadreau, who is committed to identifying and developing opportunities for ensuring tribal energy sovereignty, self-sufficiency, and a future long-term revenue stream that provides a means to maintain traditional tribal way of life. For more on the work of the Indian Energy is accomplishing, please welcome Mr. Cadreau, who I'm really proud to say has 3 generations of his family with him here today.
Bonjour, Montana. Hello with endearment. My name is Alan George Cadreau, founder and CEO of Indian Energy. Nukazito Deying, the Dijinakaz, the soft-hearted one I'm called by. In Dunjaba, Sugar Island, Michigan. It's an island between Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, and Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. In Dodom, we are a Jijak. We hail from the Crane clan. I'm a proud member of the Sault Ste. Marie tribe, Chippewa Indians. I'm an electrical engineer and electrician by trade. I was asked to speak here today about our company, Indian Energy, and what we're doing within Indian country. And so, setting the precedence of that, over the past 50 years of my career, I've watched and witnessed the energy sector transform and evolve. And its focus changed from corporate America to now Indian country. That's Indian country across our First Nations in Canada, the 574 federally recognized tribes here in the United States, and 71 additional nations south of the US-Mexican border. It's a crazy, beautiful opportunity for Indigenous people in the North American regions. It's an honor here to be at Big Sky Bright Future Economic Summit, talking to you about our vision for Indian country. I would like to thank the governor, the First Lady, for all of your unwavering support. I would also like to thank the amazing Misty Cool, the Director of Indian Affairs for the state of Montana, for working tirelessly to fight for the rights of our tribes and our people in Montana and across this great nation. And lastly, we want to thank the Montana Chamber of Commerce for making this all happen. Can we get a big round of applause for the state of Montana and its powerful leadership? Being called Nukazito Deying, the soft-hearted one, I'm often criticized for being too emotional during speeches. So I'm going to try my best to refrain from tearing up here. But I can't make any promises because, coincidentally, I'm giving this speech on the anniversary of the passing of my father. I was 12 years old, October 16, 1973, when my father walked on from a broken heart. I know my dad would be moved to see us all gathered here today, Indian and non-Indian alike. While this was a tragedy over time, it provided the opportunity for additional mentors to reveal themselves. Shortly after Dad's passing, I remember my maternal grandfather saying to me, "Alan, you should learn the electron, for it is never going away." Soon after that, I was given the advice, that advice. I met up with one of my best friends that I met, John Alio, on a Little League baseball field that led me to his father, John Alio Sr., and his wonderful family. It was not a common practice for trade craftsmen to teach and to share their knowledge and skills with people outside their immediate family. Mr. Alio did. 2 years ago, Pops began teaching me the commercial and residential electrical trades, otherwise known as the attic rat. Knowing that one day he could potentially be creating a competitor to his son, he chose to teach me anyway. He chose to bring me into the family. Other influential mentors were Gary Schmidt and Aki Onita, one of German descent, the other one, the ambassador to the Hawaiian Islands, I used to call him. Both of these men taught me the value of honesty and integrity while pursuing my career at Rockwell International. That was a missile systems division. I actually worked on the 10 megaton warhead, otherwise known as the Peacekeeper, that are deployed throughout this great state as well as many others. To these men and their families, I say Chi-Chi Miigwech, many, many thanks. The reality is that I am extremely passionate about what we do as a family, what we do at Indian Energy, and where we are headed within Indian country as a whole. I have dedicated my entire life to making this dream come true. This is a big deal for our people and for all of us, Indian and non-Indian alike. I was asked to be a keynote at this summit because of our vision for Indian country. It was interesting that while absolutely fascinating set of discussions, which happens to be directly into the Cadreau family's wheelhouse of large-scale generation, distributive generation, and I'm excited for the next time we all get together about what an awesome contribution Indian country has brought and is bringing to the energy issues we are experiencing within our national grid. We are helping Native American tribes achieve energy sovereignty, which we all know is not an easy task. Historically, we have struggled to know what to ask for, how to ask for it, when to ask for it, and most importantly, our rightful seat at the table. What we have come to learn is that when we find things that work within our families and within our communities, it's important to share, like Pops did, so that all people can benefit. When we begin to share, we create a win-win-win conversation. This is a benefit to all people, both tribal and our non-tribal neighbors. Which brings me back to our company, Indian Energy. Our mission at Indian Energy Group is to develop holistic and sustainable opportunities so that we can maintain a traditional way of life that provides for our 7 generations. What does that mission mean for Indian country? Our mission consists of 5 pillars that help guide us on our journey. But before I talk about the 5 pillars, I would like to say that what grounds and drives us in the Anishinaabe tradition are the teachings of the 7 grandfathers, which are wisdom, love, respect, bravery, honesty, humility, and truth. These teachings that are held within our sacred turtles are the foundations that guide us on our journey as we seek to fulfill each one of these 5 pillars in our mission. 5 pillars. Pillar number 1, we build energy solutions for tribes and by tribes. Our energy solutions are designed to benefit the tribal communities, and at the end of the day, the power plants, its systems of systems, are owned and operated by our tribal members. Pillar 2, we create long-term diversified revenue streams with levelized operating costs. The goal is for tribes to achieve energy sovereignty while both making money and learning how to save money. Pillar 3, building an indigenous sovereignty fund for cash-rich tribes to invest in Indian country for the benefit of all. Let's invest in tribal energy and infrastructure projects collectively. There is $20 billion in the Department of Energy that is allocated to Indian country. We should work hard at utilizing some of that $20 billion to have Indian country help provide some of these solutions of the grid that is in such despair. Pillar 4, we're creating technical career paths for Native Americans. This starts at a very young age. We educate our youth in STEM, which includes science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, so that they have a viable career path. The more we understand STEM as children, the more career options we have as adults. Pillar 5, creating and training a Native American workforce. Indian country has immense talents of all kinds. We train, mentor our people to be a part of our workforce. These 5 pillars are how we are fulfilling our mission in Indian country. I bet you're wondering, does this guy practice what he's preaching? Or is he just another slow, smooth-talking Indian? At the core of everything we do at Indian Energy is educating our youth and Indian country. Educating, training, mentoring Native American Indian started with my own family. My amazing wife, Nancy, is here with us today. She is a talking circle mentor, engineer, and mathematics. Nancy has had over 35 years working for Rockwell International and the Boeing Company in the Marine Systems Division. She is the nucleus of our family. Nancy and I have 3 beautiful children, and they're all with us today. Our son, Alan James Cadreau, is Vice President of Engineering. Alan was awarded the top 40 and under 40 at RES this year, and it was quite an honor for AJ and the whole family. Our daughter, Nicole, is Vice President of Development, as well as heading our psychological department. I'm not exactly sure why she went off and got a master's degree in psych, because we have enough issues right in the house. Oh boy, do we need it. And then we have our youngest daughter, Jessica, alias Pookie, who is Vice President of Asset Management. They all have their electrical engineering degrees, including my wife, with minors in mathematics. They are proud tribal members and know that, and now their children, our granddaughter who's here with us today, Nimi, are beginning their journeys. They have all built their careers in the energy sector and joined Indian Energy to run the company. But it wasn't until after they learned the skills that were needed for the company to perform. The same skills that we worked so hard to cultivate when they were children. We trusted the process, and we believe that it has paid off. Family, could you please stand? Thank you. This is our leadership at Indian Energy. This is Indian country taking a stand. Thank you. So how did we make all this happen? Which was one of the reasons we were asked to come and speak today, which was to show a little bit about what is happening throughout the North American continent, within Indian country. The Creator entrusted us with 3 beautiful children. We stood powerfully for family and friends as we continued our own personal growth. We stood true to the teachings of our mentors, even when it seemed unsurmountable. Nancy and I started having talking circles with our kids at a very young age. These talking circles led into making dinners, breaking bread. What came out of this was some very powerful and often emotional discussions about life, about consequences, relationships, studies, career paths, and how to better communicate. Each family has its own unique strengths and visions that they bring to their own table. At the Cadreau House, we focused on science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and the teachings of the 7 grandfathers. We often sat around the table having in-depth discussions about homework and how to solve problems. We didn't just ask our kids if they had done their homework. We had them open up the textbooks, and we all dove in together to solve the equations. We would bring out paper, poster boards, and when the equations were too long, when you get into differential equations and Laplace transforms, we would start writing on the sliding glass doors. We would work together to solve the equations. I probably never told the kids this, but I learned just as much as they did around that kitchen table. It all took time, patience, but it has paid off. We developed our own Native American workforce to start Indian Energy. It's more than I could have ever dreamed. And my children now are owners and are growing the company far beyond I could have ever imagined. And now they are teaching their own families, their own circles, as well as Native American Indian and non-Native American Indian, in that same talking circle and then that same sliding glass door. It is crazy beautiful. Back in the early 2000s, I was talking to tribes about building microgrids, utility scale power plants, integrated energy solutions, when the word gigawatts came out of my mouth. I was told, Alan, you should probably never, ever, ever use the word gigawatts again, because you will be looked at as a fool. Interesting how times have changed. In 2009, we started Indian Energy because we realized that Indian country had an opportunity to change and shift the energy sector. I want to just take a brief moment as I was going to raise my hand, but it was out of place because I was asked if there was anybody who had a question. It wasn't a question, Governor, that I wanted to share, as much as it was, there are tribes that are working that are contracted by us to develop behind-the-meter solutions. I heard that word mentioned 2 or 3 times today. That behind-the-meter solution does a tremendous amount of benefit, from utility scale diversion or deferral of distribution upgrades, transmission upgrades, allows for a load shedding to occur. The Viejas tribe down in Alpine, California, which is one of our flagship projects, it's a $200 million microgrid behind the meter. It has the ability to island itself immediately and load shed 7 megawatts worth of power. There are other ways to help mitigate some of these issues. And I think Indian country has a lot to bring to the table in regards to that. So look at us now. Gigawatts, gigawatts. Our COO likes to make me laugh every once in a while. God almighty, I could use him now. The beautiful thing about it is, though, that of all of these needs, Indian country is sitting smack dab in the middle of it. We have the land, the natural resources, and the knowledge to get it done. Not get it done right, get it done in a way that works. I talked about that win-win-win conversation. Everybody at the table needs to win. And you will find Indian country very open-armed if we can nail that equation. Just in case you need a sliding glass door, I have one. Tribes are building microgrids, creating utility-scale authorities, signing lucrative energy contracts, mining rare earth minerals, building AI data centers, manufacturing high-demand technologies, all centered around creating a reliable and resilient national grid that supports our needs now and for our 7th generations. Indian country has the potential to be a powerful linchpin in the energy dominance. As I was writing this speech, I was reminded of a teaching from one of the elders up on my reservation in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. It was important teaching for me, but I think it applies to all of us. As I was talking through with this elder about what I was doing with Indian Energy, she stops me about 3/4 of the way through and says, Alan, you have an awful lot of I in you. She went on to say that I'm not sure that we do anything alone. And I was so grateful and humbled by her words. Her insight made me reflect on my journey then and again now, to recognize and give thanks and gratitude to our Creator and those that have shared their love, support, knowledge, resources, and even those that doubted us contributed in ways. Empowerment. What we are doing here doesn't happen without your contribution. And to that, I say chi miigwech, many thanks. I want to briefly touch on the importance of healing. It's a much larger discussion than we have time for today, but it's equally as important. Our people have been walking in both worlds for a long time. It's a struggle for us to navigate Western culture and Native heritage simultaneously. No matter how indoctrinated we may be or appear, the generational trauma associated with our past is very, very real. That said, we cannot let that get in our way of going after not only what we want, but what we deserve and what is needed to preserve and protect our traditional way of life. It's not only good ceremony, it's good medicine. Our vision for Indian country is to unite and work together to create prosperity for our people and our neighboring and our neighbors. This includes all of our people across the North American continent, our Canadian First Nations to the north, and our Mexican tribal nations to the south, all coming together to take a rightful seat at the energy table. There are tribes that are cash rich and land poor, tribes that are land rich with minimal cash reserves. What we have in common is that we are all indigenous. We now have the knowledge to share, money to invest, land to develop, workforces to create, products to sell, resources to trade, people to heal, and most importantly, children to educate. So let's go do this. Let's unite. Let's all work together for all of our peoples. Let's work together to make a better day for all of our children and our grandchildren. Thank you very much for your time. Chi chi miigwech.
Wow, that was moving and inspiring. I hope that it inspires everyone in this room to add a seat at every table and discussion with our Native American friends and neighbors at the table. I think we'll all be better off for that. I loved what was shared about win-win-win conversations and outcomes, and I think that's why we're all here today, and that last speech just really enveloped that.